So I apologize in advance if the videos hear any wind, but this is the engine bay inspection of the 2021 BMW 330i. Engine bay comes back with a clean bill of health. However, none of the fluids can be serviced in here with the exception of the windshield reservoir and the coolant here. Looks like two coolant expansion tanks. Possibly one maybe separate for the turbo, or one separate for the coolant itself. I'm not seeing any hybrid systems in this vehicle, assuming maybe a separate hybrid cooler, but it is turbocharged, so they may be running a separate expansion tank for the turbo cooling system. But no damage to the front crush rail, no damage to any of the componentry, no signs of collision damage. Engine bay comes back, no leaks, no signs of abuse. I've ran the flashlight all down below, looking at the drip pan, the belly pan, along the front core support, then the crash rails and the light support, the assemblies over here. No concerns there, no electrical damage. No one's been in here, rodents, things like that. Nobody sprayed this out either. Vehicle appears garage kept, in line with kind of the luxury kind of status fitting of this vehicle. Nobody appears to have been in here repairing or replacing anything. A lot of times these like foil, these really thin little foil, it's hard to see, I'm sorry, let me get my, because that foil sheet right there will be bent if you had to pull anything out, scuffed and scraped, and you can't fix that. So it's really easy to look at those. If they look nice and crisp and clear, they're good. Same with these foil wraps on these hoses. When those get bent a certain way or had to be moved, they kind of tell a tale. So no, engine bay comes back with a clean bill of health, thank you. This is the exterior inspection of the 2021 BMW 330xi. So apologize also in advance again. It is very windy out here, so I'll try to speak slowly and clearly, but I'm looking for paint defects, collision damage, anything wrong with the wheels, deviations in paneling. So right away we're going to start with the front left driver quarter panel, looking for A pillar deviation right here. That comes back clean. Checking B pillar, that comes back clean. Not seeing, as we walk the vehicle, not seeing any large blemishes or defects, scratches and dents in the paint. C pillar, C seam comes back clean. Bumper cover, I'm going to give that a little tug, looking for broken clips, like it maybe been bumped and backed into something. There are a couple of maybe scuffs in the back, you know, normal operation, luggage scuffs, things like that. Heavy items and so forth. Pulling the bumper cover right here, same deal, no broken clips there. We check the trunk for square here. So we look and see if there's any like major deviations in the seam here. I've already been through this, I didn't find any. Going over the other side as well. So we'd look for like a, you know, gap here, you know, significant gap along the seam. So we're not seeing that there either. Walking around, rear passenger, same deal, C pillar. A little bit of water kind of deposition, oxidation here, so maybe some polish will take that out. Had some hard water exposure. There is a dent right here, just had a little crease right there. Following down the C pillar, that's square. Following over here, B pillar square. Following to A pillar square. Coming to front, we're gonna check the hood. We'll go check the other side as well, that's good. Pulling on the bumper cover, nothing there. Pulling the center, nope, that's secure. Pulling driver, nope, that's secure. No crease, no deviations right here, that's good. And driver side seam is also good. Other than the things that were documented, the exterior comes back with a clean bill of health. Thank you. Yeah, I apologize for the wind if it starts cutting in, but this is the underbody inspection for the 2021 BMW 330xi. So right away, there's a lot of aero under this vehicle. There's not a lot to be seen because it's covered up. We've got lots of paneling, which is for fuel economy and it's for noise, you know, sound deadening, things like that. So we're not going to be able to see too much, but I will be able to check for leaks and any sort of damage. Right away, let's start with the lift point for the vehicle on the front driver. It comes back good. There's no chips or cracks or anything missed on that. I see that a lot on these vehicles, especially you know, Euro vehicles. There's very specific lift points you're supposed to use, and shops that just kind of kick the lift under here, the arms, and just kind of go for it. You can't do that on these European vehicles. So I see a lot of damage, or crush damage along the rail here, along the trim pieces here, or damage to these itself using the improper pucks. So I don't see that here. Walking up the center line of the vehicle, the exhaust, I can see a little bit of that. There's no drips, leaks, tears, missing hanging componentry. Walking to the back, I was able to see the rear diff cover. It's nice shiny aluminum. I apologize again if it's hard to see with the lighting on this. It's so bright out here. but it's shiny, it's clear. There's no leaks on the differential, on the rear differential over here. Checking the puck, oh, there you go, nice lighting there. So no damage on the lift point there for the pucks. That looks good. Arrow looks good, nothing hanging down, no high centering, no rips, tears. Same thing along the center line. And the exhaust is not showing any signs of rust at this time either. The front lift point for the pucks looks good too. And then moving to the very front of the vehicle, no hanging tears, no leaks, missing componentry. So underbody gets a pass. It was cared for. There's no abuse, no signs of abuse or leakage here. Thank you. All right, this is the interior inspection video of the 2021 BMW 330i. It's real typical of these vehicles of this age and kind of status, the sport luxury kind of niche, is they're clean. Didn't find any loose paneling in here. I wiggled things, pulled on door panels, opened and closed glove boxes, checked door panels, pushed on the dash. No signs of, like, if you push on the dash, lots of creaking, like maybe the dash had come out for a previous repair. Maybe they had to replace an airbag or an HVAC component actuator maybe. Same deal with the rear seats. They're nice and clean, look like they've never been used. There's not a lot to say about the interior. I'm not seeing any scratches. There's not even very much wear on the steering wheel itself. Maybe a couple spots where, you know, hands would go, maybe a little crease from a nail. Other than that, no, the interior gets a completely clean bill of health. Thank you. Okay, this is the trunk inspection of the 2021 BMW 330xi. There's not much going on back here. You've got a vanity cover for the battery here. Nice and clean, no debris down in there. I appreciate how easy this battery is to get to from a mechanic or repair technician's point of view. Easy to get in here and fix things. It looks like it's got star guard, maybe like some form of low jack system in here. Couldn't tell you if that's dealer installed or previous owner, but that's what that'll be. Is there's a radio module in here, likely what that is. So we're gonna close that up. There's not much going on back here. There's no signs of safety kit. Here's some your, like, a manual, the owner's manual. Here's some extra lug nuts, lug bolts, excuse me, things like that. But the rear is nice and clear. I would assume typically these BMWs come with some sort of mat or vanity mat in here. It's not in here. It might have gotten dirty or damaged, and maybe they threw it away. Sometimes rental cars will be missing these as well. They won't have any of the matting in the rental cars, so it's possible that that's what this is too. So, but otherwise, it gets a clean bill of health. Thank you. Okay, so here's the codes that I found that were the most relevant. There was a few other body codes I found that I'm gonna mark those as inconsequential on the sheet. One of them had to do with battery control. One of them in terms of a remote for the radio. Another one had to do with a camera system that said it was working fine, but that it temporarily lost feed, which could be a great many number of things, but all of which are inconsequential. And the other one appeared to be maybe something with a telematics unit with that IT code saying something about back-end certification. So I'm going to park all three of those codes in inconsequential, because these are the codes we need to focus on. When I took the vehicle out for a test drive, within 3 minutes of starting the vehicle to begin the test drive, we kicked this check engine light combination of that wrench for maintenance and your check engine light over here. We got this wrench for drivetrain malfunction. The vehicle kicked into limp mode. I wasn't able to throttle the vehicle. There was no boost. There was no performance from the engine. I was able to get it up to 60 miles an hour for at least to see if there was a balance vibration issue, steering, suspension, which all came back clean. So that gets a pass, but was not able to testing the performance aspects of the engine. And here's why. So it pops these fuel codes. We're dealing with, more than likely, we've got one issue that's manifesting in different symptoms and data points. So we've got fuel high pressure reduction, so the computer's yanking fuel system, delivery rate for full load too low. Well, okay, does that mean, so one system's tattling on another system, so one system yanks fuel, but another system points a finger and says, whoa, now we don't have enough fuel to do X, Y, and Z. We've got fuel rail pressure signal, pressure too high before engine start. Now that's a good starting point for diagnosing a fuel delivery issue if you've got a pressure sensor that's causing some shenanigans or going bad or having intermittent faults. So at this point, this vehicle is not ready for sale. This needs to be addressed. The vehicle will not operate on the road safely. So I'd want to have the seller address this prior to sale. Again, fuel air mixture too lean could be related to reducing pressure, fuel pressure. So all these are kind of talking to each other. So we're talking about a fuel pressure system dealing with a high pressure fuel pump. This vehicle has multiple fuel pumps. You've got a lifter pump in the tank, and you've got a high pressure fuel pump on the engine itself. And so we got multiple systems here along with the turbocharger, and it's a BMW. So this needs to be elevated to a dealer level technician for BMW specific problems. But yes, at this time I can't give this vehicle a pass based on the code scan for purchase until this problem is rectified. So need to have this documented, which here we go. So thank you. All right, I apologize in advance. It's a little bit windy out here. I'll try to kind of hold the tablet in such a way we can't hear the wind. But this is the conclusions video of the BMW 2021 330xi. Right away, I can't recommend purchase of this vehicle based on what we found with the code scan, the operation, performance operation of the vehicle on the road test. It is currently sitting in limp mode. Everything else came back clean and clear. Interior, exterior, underbody, engine bay, trunk, with the exception of the road test and the code scan. So other than that, vehicle came back clear, but cannot recommend for purchase until the fuel delivery issue is rectified.